All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to my commentary channel, One Take Commentary. And in today's video, I wanted to talk on this video. I saved it some time ago, and I've been meaning to to kind of just overall give you guys how can I put it in words? I want this video, on top of it being a commentary video, I want it to be a motivational video too. I felt like I should have uploaded this onto my motivational channel. But yeah, for those that don't know, I do have a motivational channel called Core Motivate. You guys want to go check it out, you very well can. But no, overall though, I wanted this to also be a thing where I'm just kind of talking on like a bunch of different times where I've seen similar videos like this where people get upset because nobody is helping them, and I'm thinking to myself, it's not that person's job to help you. If I know you, if we're cool, then okay, then I'll probably offer a hand. But yeah, for the most part, if I see somebody struggling, then okay. But if you look like you have because yeah, so she was upset because she was having to unload her truck by herself, and she was like, people are just standing around looking and stuff, and she's trying to make it seem like that it's our problem. And I'm like, ma'am, I didn't ask you to be a truck driver. Nobody forced you to be a truck driver. You decided to be a truck driver. So whatever it is that you have to unload, you have to be prepared to unload it yourself. What if there ain't nobody there? Then what would the conversation be? So that's why I'm like, when I see videos like this, it's comical. It's funny because I'm like, ma'am, that's like if, I guess, with content creating, I'm asking people, oh, how come nobody ain't coming over to my house and starting up the camera for me? How come nobody ain't pulling me out my bed and, helping me sit me in front of my equipment to record? It's not them people's job. At the end of the day, if people want to help, that's their choice. If not, fam, you can't blame them for some stuff that you signed up for. You signed up for this. So that's why I find it funny, but it just seems like it's kind of one of those like ranting about men type videos, and I'm like, lady, it's one of those things where I'm like, you don't know what a man is going through. The last thing that we need to see or deal with is us being called out because you're wanting some extra hands with unloading your truck. That's your truck. That's your load. You unload it. They ain't got nothing to do with me. So yeah, I see videos like this, and I feel like on top of talking about that, I feel like that, these ranting about men videos, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, are you ranting about all men, or are you ranting about the men that has hurt you? Because the men that's hurt you, then you need to title it differently to where it's like, okay, yeah, those are the men that you need to be talking about. But what did I do to you? How am I supposed to know that you're unloading a truck or loading up a truck, whatever and stuff? Like that ain't. I got my own things to be worried about. It trips me out. Then it's like you hear stories of like, I'll never forget. It was this one story I read on Reddit. There is this. I was on my podcast, but if you want to go check out my podcast, the T Moss Boss Show. But no, I remember that I used to do a lot of these relationship advice episodes, and I'll never forget. I remember reading this story about this guy, how his the mother of his child birthed their child, and then she just disappeared. Like she just ran off somewhere and was gone. And he was left to take care of the child himself. Now there ain't nothing wrong with that, being a single parent, you see it a lot. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's crazy, like that's a crazy thing. And it's crazy because like that's a conversation that you'll never hear or see men like. I didn't read that story and then was like, oh, all women ain't this, all women ain't that and stuff. No, that's just that woman that did that. Why? I guess like my question is okay, reading that story and then I come up with that assumption of, oh, all women are trash or something like that. What did this woman, how does this, I guess, woman is involved in that story with that mom abandoning her child? How is it that the women that are in my life from friends and family, are they involved in that child's life? They're not. So why am I blaming them? And it's like, it's things like that where it's like, yeah, even if that ain't, because I feel like that she would see this video and then she's like, oh, I'm not saying all men, but it's like, okay, that's what it's coming off as, where it's like you're trying to blame men that ain't got nothing to do with your lifestyle, but you're trying to blame them because they want to sit around and talk. Or it's like, even if it is on some stuff where if they talking to you, it's like, okay, if you need help, communicate, like talk. It's there. And that's, I think, what they need to understand is that communication is probably, that's like what the first thing that we've ever done as a human race we communicated. Adam and Eve was talking. They was like, hey, what you doing here? I don't know. What you doing here? I don't know. Hey, let's go over there and see what's, what the business is over there. You hear that voice? Oh, it's God talking to communication. So I'm pretty sure it didn't go like that, but I'm having an assumption. All right. But yeah, then hundreds to thousands of years later, it's like, fam, we are still communicating till this day. It ain't like we're living in a world where it's like there ain't no communication. So people, before you run to social media and you get to ranting about people they ain't did nothing to you, talk with them, communicate, be like, hey, can you guys? That's one thing about it, is that if I'm struggling when it came down, like my old job, for an example, I used to work at this cafe in Seattle, and if I needed help, I asked. And if they was like wanting to be on some business where they didn't want to help, because no, I do remember at my old job, so they wanted to play the whole game where they didn't want to hire nobody. So it was at my because it was three different locations. There was the one location that required two people. There was another location that only required one cashier, and then there was our location that required three cashiers. So they went months without hiring a third cashier. And me and my friend that was working there, we were getting stressed. We were stressed out because it's like we're having to do our job. We're used to just doing one job. We're having to do our job and then split them jobs down the middle. And then if there's a day where we call out, then we're pretty much left to doing three jobs, their jobs, and then two other jobs and stuff. So that's why I'm like, man, I just remember there was the day where and again, communication. So it was never a problem with him. I'm like, nah, bro, go follow your dreams, do what you got to do and stuff. I'm not going to be all like, oh no, bro, we short staffed. Could you please put your dreams aside so you can help me out at this job that didn't even last? Like that place ended up closing down due to COVID. But so anyways, he went away. I think it was to record. I think it was either to record an album or to go on tour. It was one of the two things. But I was happy for him. I'm like, hey, bro, go do your thing. It wouldn't be no different if I was to take some time off. I was like, oh, I wanted to record some content or stream or do my own music thing and stuff. So, but no, they overall had it though set up where they only I was just only doing most of the work and stuff. They just come out and like, oh, we'll ring up a few customers, take a few crumbs off the counter, and I'm like, that's not enough. So I remember there was a day where they had me do a lot of work. I got stressed out to the point where I'm like, okay, communication needs to take place, I think, right about now. So yeah, I went to the one manager and I said, hey, we need to have a meeting after work. And no, yeah, she did schedule the meeting. It was me, my friend, and then it was all of us, like we and then the managers, we were all sitting down. And so they all said what they need to say. My friend said what he needed to say. When it came down to me, I'm like, look, that's the one thing that wasn't being talked about in this whole conversation. And that's the one thing that I just want to know. When are we going to hire a third cashier? And so they're trying to get me to run around and, all like, oh, we're trying and we're doing. I'm like, okay, that's not telling me on when we are going to hire a third cashier. Y'all never had a problem with hiring people before, and now all of a sudden hire a crackhead on the street if you need to. Okay, I didn't say that, but I'm just saying. I'm like, there's all these different people. There's a lot of unemployed people out right now. I'm pretty sure somebody's looking for a job, and so. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to gas myself up. I'm not trying to make it seem like that I was, the Michael Jordan of that place and things. But I would say that I was a hardworking, worker and stuff. Like I barely had called out. I had to say the only times when I had called out I remember there was a day where I was extremely sick and I could not show up to work. But that was before. That was when we did have three cashiers. But there was that. Then there was a day where I just need a mental day. And then I guess like the days where if it snowed really bad, then yeah, I'm like, I live all the way outside Seattle. I'm like, I'm not going to, travel and then get stuck somewhere. And it's like, and I'm having to like rent out a hotel just so I know. I'm like, so, but that was the thing though. The days where I would call out, I would make sure that everybody was good and, and all that stuff. So, but it was like, I'm trying to think when I think when we had that meeting, it had to have been in December because I think they had a interview with it was another friend of mine's that worked there, and then it was like shortly after. I remember I went on a trip, and then yeah, because I was like I need just to have me some me time. I need to have some fun, but overall though, but no, I remember when we had that meeting, I'm like, look. I don't know what's taking so long with hiring the third cashier, but if you guys don't hire a third cashier, you guys gonna have to hire two more cashiers because I'm about done. I'm like I can't do this no more. You know, having it where it's like I'm doing all these jobs and then you guys are just walking around and you only come out when it's like your guys' managers show up and then that's when you want to be all helpful and things. I'm like, okay, have that same energy when your managers ain't here, you know? And so yeah, that's why I was like, and I think they seen how serious I was, and then they was like, okay, yeah, let's because he yeah I the thing is this, you know, to kind of just talk on, you know, my workload. So on top of doing my work, there was at times where I was having to help out the cooks and the chefs on whatever it is that they needed to do. So there would be days where let's say for an example, one of the breakfast cooks they call out, so I'm having to help them guys roll up some burritos. Or if yeah, because there it would be at times where it was like a small staff, but it was like it was people that can handle whatever their workload was. But there would be at times where somebody would call out. So yeah, I remember there was that time where it was like they needed help rolling up some burritos. So there was that. There was the one oven cook where he needed somebody to just kind of like put like some I think it was like macaroni and cheese. Like he just needed me to like just kind of like prep it, put it in the bowl so he could heat it up and all that stuff. But there was that. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, then there would be days where the dishwasher would call out. So yeah, we're in the back having to like wash up dishes. I remember there was one day where I think I did my job. I did the some I well I didn't do like the cook's job, but I did my job and I helped out the cooks, and then I did like dishwashing work. And I'm like, man, you know, like and this was at the time. I think if this would have been now where I wasn't drinking Red Bulls, and I probably would have got back into drinking Red Bulls. I'm like, no, I need me a caffeine drink with sugar. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll be drinking caffeine drinks without sugar and stuff. I mean, this it gets the job done, but I'm like, nah, bro, I need some sugar in my drink because I'm like, nah, this is too much. I need something that's going to keep me energetic and stuff. But yeah, bro, you know, it's one of those things that people need to understand that yeah, you know, and that's the thing though, like I guess like the moral of those stories, that communication, them guys walked up to me and asked me, hey, could you help? They wasn't like hinting around all like, oh man, it'd be real nice if we had some help right now and stuff. And it's like, okay, that's not directly asking me, but where you want me to ask you or something. Like, no, it don't work like that. If you need help, ask. I'm like, I'm not gonna deny helping you guys. But yeah, you just got some people out there where it's like they need a little bit of an explanation on that. Why, I don't know. But it's like, ma'am, you look like you're at an old enough age to where you can talk for yourself. You can ask if you need help. If you ask for help and then they're all like, no, I'm not helping you, then I'm like, yeah, then leave them people alone. Something wrong with them. But if you ask and they help, then it's like, what's the problem? So but anyways, yeah, you just got some people out there where it's like, you know, they need to understand like communication. It's a key thing. All right. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.